Okay, I have a question. You don't consider yourself a bad guy, do you? Because you've definitely seen worse. You know those guys that bring different girls back to their flat every week? You think those guys are shallow, right? Let me just stop with this gentleman gimmick. On some level, at this age, we're all simply players. I'm starting to think it's a status thing. No matter how much you say you don't care, at some point you must have been with a girl beautiful enough to prove that you're normal to society. It's like a weird valuation metric to show your friends that you're not a weirdo. For example, I know that you've been asked to show a picture of your girl to the group chat, and the thing is, if those pictures don't get received well, it's basically social suicide. It just takes one guy to say that she's ugly, and then the whole dynamic of your relationship is just ruined. It shouldn't be that way, but it just simply is. Like many 19-year-olds, speaking to girls has always been a bit of a grey area for me in my own life. Many days I wake up feeling level-headed, knowing I don't need a girlfriend unless she's good for me and God-fearing, and even then I'm 19, so I don't really need a girlfriend by any means. That is until you stay up too late, you're left alone with your thoughts, and then you're searching through quick ads on Snapchat, scrolling through dating apps and looking for any hookup in the area. Why is it as soon as it gets dark you start trying to talk to any old talking stage that'll take you back in? I remembered it was your mum's birthday today, and thinking of how she's probably cutting the cake reminded me of how we were so unfairly parted down the middle. You don't have to say anything, but just know that I miss you. Also, it feels like nowadays no one's serious and everyone's like still hooked up on their ex to some degree. Let me just drink to that real quick. And as someone who likes to think they have a very romantic view of love and all that stuff, like believing that the one is out there for you, I just don't feel like in the city that I live in where everyone's sleeping with everyone, that I'll find that at 3 a.m. in a bar somewhere in a smoking area with some girl who just tried to speak to my boy 30 minutes ago. So yes, I understand if you feel like you're wasting your time taking anybody seriously at 19, especially because everyone's going to be moving in like a year or two. I think personally I just think too long term about these things. Yes, I could just be having fun. Realistically, I still think it's a bit shallow. The truth is I like to consider myself and portray that I'm some deep guy, but there's a few women who probably just consider me the drunk guy they met on a night out and flirted with. Because as soon as it's 10 p.m. on a Friday or a student night and you get that text, it is compelling to go to these bars or clubs. Behaving lustfully, sending risky texts, it all just feels more natural at that time. I don't get those people who say that they go to these clubs just for music as well, because I notice when my friends haven't found anyone to talk to the whole night, the Uber home just feels a bit more expensive, especially at 5 a.m. knowing that you've ruined the next day. And honestly, who you were when you made those decisions and who you are at 8 a.m. the next day when you have to actually deal with them are two different people who will absolutely never meet. So honestly, I feel like I have bipolar disorder and I'm split between two people. I know that you feel the same way as well, that there's two different versions of you pulling your life in different directions at any given time. Right, I actually don't know why I have this wine bottle with me. I thought it would be like cool for the shot or something. It really has no meaning. I guess it could be like, yo, I'm drinking to get drunk because I'm sad about, I don't know, the death of relationships, but that's a lie. I'm just lying. Hookup culture is also so normalized now, and it's probably the worst I've ever seen it in the past couple of years. Even at 14, you get called frigid for not just being a full-blown freak. 14. I was still just a weirdo at 14. I was just like a kid. Well, a lot of people like this that we know that rotate in different girls every week, sleep with them, and then just get rid of them the same day. Like, you don't want to sleep with two little people because you get called an incel. And if you sleep with too many, then you've got a sex problem. Realistically, yes, you probably don't feel lonely. You probably feel the best you've ever felt for like a total of 6 seconds until you're hit with the worst wave of depression and misery from post-nut clarity that can possibly exist. Honestly, a lot of you will probably relate to this. My whole life I've been in different variations of talking stages, relationships back to back to back. And honestly, I think it's just because I couldn't bear to spend any time alone with myself, because I'd actually be forced to confront the part of me that is just lonely past 10 p.m. So instead I just fall asleep with like random different girls on the phone and pillow talk for like 8 hours straight. The amount of time that I've spent doing that, I could have halved it and built like an entire house. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, speaking to women is draining you, or ridiculous, like red pill nonsense. But at the same time, like, you're just wasting energy on meaningless connections. The best thing in the world is love and all that stuff, but there's a time and place. Know when it's the right time. Please know when it's the right time. But a lot of you are probably also feeling this way as well, and it took me a while to realize that the reason I was doing this was because I wasn't comfortable being alone with myself. You, for the next month, try and go without starting any meaningless 3-week situationship or flirting with anyone for no reason. It's really hard day to day to spend that time alone with yourself, and it's even worse at night. I don't want to be that guy who's like, you've got to learn to love yourself. That's too easy of an answer, but the progression of thought has brought me to the conclusion that you have to learn to spend time alone if you want to become confident in yourself and not outsource validation from other people. Being alone with yourself, yes, it is awkward, but as is any relationship when it starts out, you don't actually know yourself because you don't spend enough time with yourself alone. The same way that if you were to meet a girl, you'd have to get to know them. And eventually, the more time you spend together, the familiarity eventually builds up to friendship. Like maybe confronting the thing that's causing you to feel miserable will make you stop doing this. I went on a date recently to try and just like get back out there. A lot of you guys will relate to this, but the unspoken goal on a date is to try and at least get a kiss. But weirdly, like, I just felt no pressure to for some reason. Not because she wasn't attractive, honestly she was, but I didn't feel the need to outsource my validation and try and feel like I was accepted by just somebody else thinking I'm attractive. So I just enjoyed the conversation, went out of pocket on some drinks, and then left before things got too late. And I know some of you are looking at me like I'm a weirdo, even still, after this whole rant I just have done. Honestly, that's the best I've felt in terms of dating and relationships in a very long time, because there was no intense need to validate myself through this connection, just able to behave confidently. And honestly, a lot of the times it isn't like this. This is more rare than it isn't, but still it's enjoyable to know that that isn't what makes me happy only, because at the end of the day, no hookup will genuinely fill the void within you. So please sit with it before you pass it on to the next person. I'm done ranting. I'm done ranting for the day. I hope that recorded.